And we are streaming, and yes, it is confusion time, although I have not registered the trademark as of yet, so huzzah. I can see that we're all doing well, and we have 4 people queued up, so I'm actually going to get that game started. So this is Prospero, Solar, Rise, and Jesper. Off you go. Also, hello Rise, it's been a few weeks. How are you doing? It could be a system bot. Just discussing this, because I have genuinely gone and checked a couple of times midweek to just, curiosity's sake, and found suddenly 2 people in the lobby, which is weird. I don't know whether it's counting wrong, and it's just permanently got 1 in there, but oh well. Anyway, I will go and observe that game a little bit. I'm actually going to quickly go over how my current form has been. I am still pretty much slap bang middle of Expert 2, despite a solid week and a bit. I don't remember Rise being in a game last week. Certainly not. But yeah, I've had a solid 30-game attempt to try and get myself out of Expert 2. My net gain over 30-ish, 35 games, I've gained 200 ranking points roughly. So yay, it's going well. That being said, I'm on a bit of a run of form in a weird sort of way. I haven't lost a game in 14. I mean, I've not done particularly well, but not losing in 14 games is helping. Anyway. Woo, nice. And soon he will be outranking me on both. If he doesn't already. You're still second down, are you? Or did you get to third already? $210 seconds for this. I should have started the game off before I started the stream. That would have been intelligent. Although, in fairness, I only saw 3 people there. It won't take you too long, I'm sure. Oh, dear. I haven't been on Tenho in quite a while, actually, but... No, definitely getting there. If you're only 100... That's, what, 2 wins? Pressure on time? Actually, no, it's 60, isn't it, for a win on Tenho? So 3 wins. Not quite pressure on time, but getting there. Three minutes and I'll be able to actually do some analysis. Oh dear. Also, I've now discovered the game mode of Doom, and to be honest, it confused the heck out of me for the first few times I was playing it. And having played it now enough times, I've decided I don't like it. Oh dear. Largely because I cannot for the life of me work out this thing. It'll be Mark Fu, won't it? But I don't think I've been on it in some considerable time. Actually, let me quickly load up the Tenho account. Let me just have a look at exactly where I am with that. I might be in first down again. I know I was on the bubble between the 2, certainly. Where are we? Play. Web. Okay, so now we're going to have both Tenho and this. Oh, I've got to find my... I haven't logged on in this computer. Hold on. That shows how long it's been since I've done this. I'm now going to go into my Google Drive and find out what my username is. Hold on. It's fine. It's just chaos. Yeah, it took me rather too long to discover skipping Ron was a thing you wanted to do. Got to be honest, but I'm just not a fan of that format at all. To be fair, though, I like it a little bit more. It might be case sensitive. I mean, to be fair, if you give me 2 moments, I'll be able to confirm what I am. Hi, Piffles. We are currently doing stuff and things in the background while I wait for the game to start up. Where is my done? Hold on. There's a particular file I have, and it's just taking ages to load it for whatever reason. There we go. That's the one. Yeah, so it might be case sensitive. So it's capital M, capital F. If you're looking at my specific account. 22 seconds. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do there. Oh, we're about to see a plan that's been effed up. Oh, God, this is... I don't know what it is, but this is running ridiculously slow right now. At least from my end. I hope the stream's actually okay. Not that anything's happening in the stream, but... Yep, that sounds about right. So there we go. I could play some Tenho in the background. That would be a thing. Also... Oh boy, it's been too long since I've done any of this. (14th of December). Okay, so 5 months since I was last on any kind of Tenho-age. Okay, well let's open this up and let's actually see what we are playing with at the moment. So behind Solar as dealer, 2 Dora. A little bit sluggish in terms of hand. What are we looking at from everybody else? I like Jesper's opening start. He says he's doing something a bit ambitious. Prospero with the immediate Dragon Call, which makes sense. He's got a triplet. A couple of things that could lead to a Chanter hand. It's a little awkward, but he could do it. And what's Rise up to? Rise's hand isn't bad either, actually. Pair, long sequence. Well, we'll see. Question is Prospero's Chanter going to develop here? I mean, I've had longer breaks on Tenho than that. I'm certain of it, so... But, I mean, I've only really got to the second dance stage, and that's not really a firm thing, so it wouldn't be the end of the world if I had to reset it. I'm surprised my Shadowhawk accounts haven't been deleted, although, admittingly, those have definitely been in there for a long time, because it's only 8 characters, so I'm fairly certain it was Shadow HWK originally. Or something of that nature. Still, I'm going to turn off all my Tenho stuff now. And start focusing on the actual Soulage. We currently have no players queued up, but if another game is preparing to start up, I will join that instead. So, Solar Ishanten for Riichi Pinfu 2. Just pick up the 8 and gets himself Ishanten as well. Oops. Currently, you're the only person in Piffles, but obviously I'm there as well, so yeah. So that'll be 2. And Prospero has hit Tempai, although admittingly it's for Dragon only. But Dragon only, not bad in the first hand, just to move things along. Now, Solar, I assume, is talking about something that's just happened, so we'll worry about that next hand. So, 3-7 pins still left for Prospero to finish, but it is a... Yeah, it'll be... It'll be Shadow HWK, most likely. Most likely. I don't know for sure on that, because I'm fairly certain there's an 8-character limit. But it's been a long time, and that account would have definitely been deleted by this point. Well, we need more than just Chiral. We only have you currently queued, but still. Okay, so just for reaching with the 6-9 pair weight. With 3 remaining. 1 in Prosper's hand that isn't going to come out because of his hand type. That, however... Is Prospero going to fold this? No. No. I mean, to be fair, it's a cheap deal in. There's also the argument that it was a cheap hand to try and keep on with. So, I don't know. I did definitely have an older account, but hey. All right, we are 1 away from having another game set up. So if somebody does want to jump in, or somebody does jump in, just give me a shout and I'll avoid commenting on this game for a bit. So, how are we starting here? Jesper's hand looks reasonably decent. Prospero, a couple of reds, and some bits. Rise's hand looks okay, actually. Yep, there's only better than that 3. And Solar. I think Solar's got the best overall hand in terms of outright speed, if not value, because I think that's going to be Tanpin at best, but still. I'll Tanpin 1, though. Assuming he gets that side. Oh, just beginning some good draws, so 2 away. Actually, no, sorry, he shan't in, if he can draw the 4-pin. Prospero, triplet of the reds now established, just getting rid of things at this point. Still looking to just do a normalish type of hand, isn't fully committed to anything. The 5-6, yeah. Hideaki I was given, had to attempt. We'll keep an eye on what Rise is up to then. Possible Itsu. Unless he's talking about his next hand, which is easily possible. Alright, increasing Jesper's Tenpai options here. So we can go 4-pin for a pair weight if he wants to, but we'll probably take the 4-7 pin through. And of course, he can now draw a triplet of those two to get to Tenpai. Interesting. So that potentially expands this a little bit. Whether he thinks that's going to be better than holding the 3-5, going back a couple of steps. Decides to stay Ishanten with the closed weight. Prospero now has his second dragon pair and is probably... I don't know. I mean, the 5-6 is quite good, so I'd probably not want to be going into a Honitsu with this. And to be fair, now he's got 2 triplets of dragons, actually. Doesn't even need that. He's got a quick hand to become dealer now. Jesper has the Riichi Pinfu. So Riichi Pinfu, potential Sanchiku, upside, Tanyo. We'll see what happens. How many 4s are left and where are they? All the 4s are in people's hands. Oh, actually, no, sorry, 1 left. 1 4 left, and it's, well, not impossible. And 3 7s left in the wall. Meanwhile, Prospero's hand is looking a bit more interesting, that triple draw. Risks the 5, which I suppose half Suji. But the 4-7 going to be much harder to get rid of against this hand. Oh, there's the deal in, and yeah, that was Tenpai with the Itsu as well. Officially, though, open Itsu is never as good. Jesper, though, picks up the dealer Mungan and takes command of the game. Absolutely, you'll take whichever one it comes to as dealer. You'll take anything as dealer because increased value, but you always want to look at the potential upside if it comes along. Because a dealer Mungan changes the complexion of the game a little bit now. The onus is now particularly on Rise to attack, and the other 2 players have to now try and secure a big hand, or at least make more of an effort into that if they want to take your lead. Or just go for sniping attempts, which is another way you could potentially do it. But pressure a little bit off for Jesper, and we'll see how things develop here. Hand is actually quite good. Little awkward to make it... Well, no, it can still be Pinfu and Tanpin, potentially. Solo's hand... Is he going for pairs? Might be going for pairs. We'll have a look at how he develops, although he's got rid of North and... I mean, he's used the first 2. I think North would have been fine if he's going for pairs. He might not be, though. Given things, he could still potentially Ipeko the 1-2-3, so still go for some Pinfuing on that end. Rise. Let's have a look at what you're up to. Normalish 2 suit Pinfu, I would guess. And Prosper going for the quick attack to become dealer. And is Ishanten. Rise also Ishanten with that. His discards don't indicate he's going for it particularly, but... I would say the first 2 are kind of a gimme, given his hand wasn't really there. 5 so helps him towards this normalish hand, so... Also, somebody's just hit Tenpai. That would be Prosper, who's just hit the 5-2. For Dragon only to become dealer. And that is Rise hitting Tempai as well, if he wants to go for it. Does. So on a 369. Jesper. Well, let's see. And this is the other problem with Prospero. 5 is Dora, 2 Rise is a triplet of, so just will not get rid of them. So, yeah. Sumo's anyway on the last 2. Green Dragon only for Prospero becomes the dealer. Alright, following Prospero for a bit then. Not the greatest of dealer hands, but it's not terrible, to be honest. This seems like an easy Tanyo attack, if nothing else. Rise. Interesting. I mean, it's 3 away from a Honitsu attempt, at least, but it's not the neatest of them, I guess. Solo, again, has 4 pairs from his starting hand and immediately cuts to 7, so he might be going for Chitoitsu here. Or maybe something else. He does draw the triplet. Jesper doesn't have a double Yakuhai, but still not the worst of hands. I'd take that, absolutely. White Dragon looks like it'll come out. He's cutting the West already, so looking at other things. Indeed. And now we'll see how the Chitoitsu develops up top. If, in fact, he goes for that, he might actually be able to go Toy Toy or Sun Anko, depending on how lucky he is. Although, just trying to work out where things are. 9 in hand. We'll see. Rise is saying very loudly, no comment on what is just about to happen. In about 5 minutes, we assume. Again, true. Either that, or everybody is that enthralled with my commentary and disagreeing with everything I've said up to this point that ... is a thing. Yeah, Prospero, as he's got the quickest and easiest hand to finish here. Not sure why he cut the 5 there rather than the 4, because 4 gives him Tempai. Although, admittingly, it's not a guaranteed thing, but you'd still win on the 6. And if you're in Tempai for a winning hand, that's usually a good idea as dealer. Rather than going for... Admittingly, there's more things that get into a neater, definite Tanyo here, but... Yeah. Well, still cutting the 5. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a dealer with calling for Tempai, but that's, yeah. If you're not going to take the Tempai, you don't need to call this. I know he's looking at a Sanshku potentially, but the other calls have put him into trouble in that regard. Well, Jesper's was able to outwin him anyway, but yeah. So Jesper with a quick win. I'd have just been inclined to take the Tempai, gotta be honest. There's greed and there's... I don't know. If you're going to make that kind of aggressive call, I'd take the Tempai. Or I'd wait. Unless there was a reason that I believed the 4 was going to deal into somebody. That's the only sliding condition on that. Because I think trying to get the definite Sanshku isn't worth it. He's only got Tanyo and 1 with it open anyway. So if he was looking at Sanshku as a serious attempt, he should keep it concealed for the time being until he needed to. Again, it's a little subjective, and he might have had other plans and just thought something at mid-call, because that does happen. But, okay, let's see what we're actually looking at for East 4 then. So, Rise with a good start, just unfortunately not a high-value one. And looks like he's going to have to keep the 9, so maybe going for Reach and hoping for Ura. Got a triplet of 2s and potential. Solar's hand looks decent as well. Not too far away from going at least Pinfu himself. Jesper up top. 2 Dora. Dragon for backup. Yeah, that looks very good. Probably going to be him. But we do have Prospero's interesting thing here. It'll be interesting to see whether he cuts the 5s at any point and goes for the full Honitsu here. Itsu, Honitsu. I mean, it's valuable. And that 5's a good draw. Not committing to it just yet, and that's probably fair. Okay, Rai's not going to take the chance of a 7 on the Ipeiko. I mean, if Prospero keeps drawing Sozu, I think cutting the 5s is probably going to be correct in a few moments. Now, it has to go for the West 5. It's probably going to in a moment. We'll see. I cut 9 twice. I mean, it's not the worst thing for him because now he's securing Tanyo as his thing. So Prospero Sumos. So Reach Sumo, and he must have hit Samura. He hit Ura 3. Hanuman. So that is extremely bad for Rise, who happened to be dealer at the time. But yeah, we go into South round then. So, some Mahjong for lunch, indeed. Enjoy your delicious tiles. Oh, dear. So, Solar is 16 behind the lead, 15,000 behind second. So, it needs to do something with this dealer turn, really. We'll see. A little awkward, but based on what I can see of the other hands, it's not the slowest on the board. Rise also has 2 Dora, but needs to get something to back that up, unfortunately, or start culling and going for a full half flush. We'll see. Well, just for getting the pair of greens, so he might be going Chitoitsu. We shall see. Our Puffin's just anxious to ask that to everybody because we're one away from having the second table start up. Oh dear. Oh, that's certainly helping the Chitoitsu effort. See whether Jesper wants to go for it or whether he's thinking about other things. Gets to 2, so he is thinking Chitoitsu. So 3-1 red. Hasn't been able to do a lot of prep on this, unfortunately, but we'll see how things go. 4's a good draw for Solar. Puts him Ishanten. 3-1 then for that. Not the ideal things to be going for a 7 pairs on, but you never know. Triplet of 5s. Yep, correctly going for the triplets and the potential upgrade path. Rise definitely committing to this Honitsu, which I think, given his point score, he kind of has to. It's the easiest route for him to get to something legal. And Jesper has decided to go for the Toy attack. To which Solar is probably going to reply... Oh, do you reach here? Yeah, you reach here. It's an awkward way, but... She missed all up. She wasn't awake. This is possibly true. So, weather freeze. 1 there, 2 in there. To be fair, we could do with your score of taking a few knocks. Let's be honest about this, Kyril. Let's see. So it looks like Jesper is just folding out for the moment, so it's unlikely he's going to play this free, meaning that we're just waiting. Solo's just got the one left that he can rely upon. And I think Rise might be making an attempt at Chitoitsu himself, a bit of a late push. It's a good reach. It's unlikely, but we'll see about whether he can get that last one. It's certainly undone Jesper's advanced. It's put some pressure on the table, so we shall see. We have a few Chitoitsu attempts going on here, I'm just noticing. Although Prospero might still be invested in his. It's probably right. Given your dealer as well, and you're in a position where you could do with some extra points, at least asking some questions of the other players. And I guess the last one for Sumo. Not the most valuable hand in the world, but he gets to go again. $6,000 down. So Mangan for game. If he can do it. Mangan Sumo for game. So, how does Solo approach this one then? So, multiple pairs again for Jesper. We'll see whether that leads to anything. Prospero has West and a reasonable hand, so he could just go for the Yakuhai only. And Rise, who badly needs some value, or at this point any win will do, is not looking in the worst of shape, I've got to be honest. But Solo does have a quick hand. Okay, 4 pairs for Jesper. Unfortunate for Solo here, but I doubt it's going to affect him too much. How's Prospero looking with that draw? Still a little awkward. He's getting to the point of having to think about getting rid of his Dora, which would be safe to, well, relatively safe to do. Rise could call it, but it's not. He's not really got the hand that can accept it right now. But the delay goes on. Ishanten does. Jesper gets rid of the Dora, deciding rather than keep the 6-pin rather than the 1. But still, 7 pairs Ishanten. So Tippin potentially lets Prospero keep that Dora, but decides not to go for it at this point. So Prospero Ishanten for still needing that West, really, which he's now got. So West call in a 6-8 pairway. Unless I'm seeing something else. No, with a 1 pin, he's got to go for the 6-8 pair. Right, so a 6 in Jesper's hand, which he's probably going to keep, and an 8 in Rise's hand he's probably going to keep. So 1 of each remaining. And Jesper decides to accelerate and go for a normalish hand from here. Unfortunately, Prospero sumos, and that is the end of Sola's dealer turn. West Wind only. So Prospero shrinking the game and increasing his advantage a little bit. Right, following Jesper. We are hoping for the Rise comeback because we always hope for the comebacks in this game, but at this point, he needs a lot of things to go for him. And I like Sola's hand the best of all, just as a casual glance. So that we'll see. We'd like comeback attempts here. And he's got 4 pairs. He could totally Chitoitsu this. Jinchatsu S4. Yeah, okay, could happen. He would be last dealer. Yes, but I've learned to ignore what the chat's say and assume that spoilers from the future are just that. Indeed, it's happened in the past, our future, and you know what? It's fine. The future can be changed from the past. If I say so. So anyway, looking at the other players here. So Jesper has East and a potential just quick attack here. He's still 2 from it, even with the East call. Prosperous hand is getting there. Hello, Larry. That was so long ago, I've forgotten about that hand, so okay. Jinchan, Sumo, Haite. I don't think I got all 3 of that, did I? Besides which, I'm jammy. I'm not good at the game. I'm just jammy. You can't take any hands I happen to get through no fault of my own. Can't take those seriously. Good hand if you can get it. Okay, so Jesper then goes East Shanten with this call. The Eastern repeat. Does Rise, is that Tenpai for Rise? That looks like it might be. Possible Itsu. Better than my memory, I'm going to be honest. Alright, Rise is looking at Chinitsu then. So having got rid of a 2, he is clearly going all in for this, which does not forgive. Fair enough. People are under no obligation whatsoever to forgive me for anything that I happen via jam or otherwise. Although it has to be said, you've got better than even odds that I will give you the points back in a silly overplaying of my hands later down the line anyway. It is just what is going to happen. So Solo with that win puts himself 300 points behind Prospero, who now takes the dealership. Fair. So, Prospero needs any hand to take the lead, but will obviously want enough points to give himself a buffer for Rise's final hand. Kandwal Tenpai did not Rinshan. Oh. Well, it looks like we do have another game ready, which will be Kyril, Piffles, and probably myself, along with somebody else, just because we've been waiting. But we shall see how this goes. So is the Rise comeback on? Probably not if the game's already over, unfortunately, but hey, we can hope. I'm just looking at what's... Solar's hand looks pretty good, actually, come to that. At least in terms of rushing to a quick hand, anyway. But I have my opinion on the matter. We like opinions here. And thank you, Carol. You deleted the message before I actually registered what it was, even though I definitely read it because I looked at Jesper's. It doesn't matter. So, what is Jesper up to then with this? He's doing a mono play, I think, from quite a long way back. But Mono would certainly approve of this. Although, in fairness, for all of Mono's going for cocky attempts, he normally gives up by about turn 3. As of you, correct. So, looking at Shanta and Honitsu. Or just Honitsu, I suppose, with a pair of 5s. South's are locked, so you're not getting any help there, unfortunately, which also is going to slow down Solar to a certain extent. And it's all looking good for Prospero. Rise with a late pair of Dora Easts. Well, not impossible. 6 gives him... Does he go for the Ipeco or the 7 pairs from here? Goes for pairs. So, Riichi waiting on the 4-pin for Solar. Well, Ishantin then for Toy Toy and something. Prospero on the timer decides to get rid of the 1. Sad face, indeed. Toy Toy and nothing, indeed. There's always Haito. Always remember Haito. This also isn't necessarily final hand, although it probably is with 4 and 5. Yeah, Rise really doesn't have a lot of options here. 4 and 5 are not the worst things for do waiting on, I suppose, from a half siege perspective, but... Gets for Tenpai on the 5. Fortunately, both of those 5s are stuck in Prospero's hand and in Solar's hand on both reaches, so it's not going to happen. For... There's Tenpai to south. Oh, on the Haite as well. Well, victory. Riichi Haite for Solar. GG. Yeah, everybody forgets the Haite. Alright. So let's head back into there, and let's see how many people we've actually got queued up at the moment. So, Kyrol and Piffle are getting in because they've been waiting the longest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm actually going to roll off. I'm not going to definitely do myself here, but I am going to have to find a dice. Which I apparently have misplaced, so this is... Oh, no, there we go. Right. So, re-rolling if it's a 6, but currently we are going down the list as such. So, we roll a 6, of course. Roll a 1, so Rise is in. And... I roll a 2, so that's Jesper. So currently it is Kyrol, Piffles, Rise, and Jesper, and I will join any additional game that starts up with the 3 of us. So, begin. Well, indeed. Right, and again we have 8, but we have to wait on things. I'm matchmaking, but I can't spectate. Anyway, this is going to be about 5 minutes to go. Also, if somebody can take some points off Kyrol, we will be very happy. If only because his current lead is almost mono-like in terms of its mocking of the rest of the league. No. Alright, fair enough. I'm not allowed to be happy. I appreciate this. 2-2 for victory. To be fair, it could happen. Where did I put the down thing? For some reason, Google Drive is just being really weird with me today. Ugh. Which is fair. And also a fair point from Solar. You can just lose games playing too defensively. And did. So, prior to this game, he has about 151 point lead currently. By Tenho's own, basically by the scoring in games. He also has a 64% win ratio at the moment, which is kind of ridiculous in its own regard. It's basically 35-5 minus 5 minus 15. Actually, no, it's not. It's 15-5-5, 15, but also the 20 win for the head thing. So that basically is 35, 0, 10, minus 20, I think. That's the way it works out. It's mathematics. Mathematics is difficult. But basically, in terms of how the games roughly seem to have gone, he's got a 2 to 3 wins advantage over the next players. In the meantime, let's just see how long it's going to take us to actually observe the match. It is 117 seconds away. Yeah, just like it. Yeah, this is currently the table as is at the moment, in terms of current positioning and things. Oh, and it's decided to resize itself weirdly. But yeah, Kyrol with a bit of a lead. But nowhere near as big as Mono's 250 point lead he just got and then refused to do anything about for the time being. But a 64% win ratio is still good. Recite a poem to pass the time. Right. Oh, wet pet. Unfortunately, Ode to a Goldfish does not take up an awful lot of time, but it's the only poem I can think of offhand. Ah dear, I'm gonna have to find a poetry site now. Bear with. Eight proven poetry websites to read and share your poems. Sounds dodgy. Let's go for it. How far away are we at this point? 43 seconds to find another poem. To surpass Ode to a Goldfish. Oh, there should be, but I wasn't directly looking for that, I've got to be honest. Let's see. All things wrong with this world. There's not enough haiku Mahjong sites. That's entirely what's wrong with it. Nope, that's refusing to work. Alright, well, game's coming in anyway. If I find any Mahjong haiku sites or somebody else does, ping them and I will read them out during the next downtime. In the meantime, we are starting with Piffles, and we are seeing that Kyrol has got a nice starting hand, one Dora, and plenty of options for him. Rise's hand is a little awkward, and Jesper's is a bit all over the place. So it's probably between Piffles and Kyrol, just based on initial hands, but we'll see. Nice. Okay, let's see. So decides to get rid of Dora there. I mean, it's a closed weight anyway. He's more likely to go for Tan Pin, possibly Sanchiku if he gets the 5 at any point. And yeah, it's just developing nicely in that direction. There we go. Right, Riichi, Tanyo, Dora 1 with Pinfu to see if he can steal the dealership. Doesn't get the Apats. But yeah, we knew it was going to be a race between Piffles and Kyrol based on the starting hands. And Kyrol's has just come together a bit nicer. Indeed. Okay, Piffles starting to cut the dragons at this point, which I guess he knew they were safe, but I'd still be inclined to possibly go with the other one, with one out. Maybe keep that and try and snipe the win himself. That's what I said, you can't win by being passive. You're also dealer, so you need to protect the points that Kyrol is going to win if he finishes off a potentially big hand. That being said, he might also, the other consideration is it's an early reach, so clearly it's terrible. Just in general terms, you might as well go for it anyway. He hasn't had time to build up a good weight and a good reach. Alright. The clattering of Mahjong tiles. Summer rain. So Rise returning with a Riichi Pinfu. Dora 1 on the 3-6. A lot of these tiles seem to be eaten up, but not all of them. All the 3s are gone. 2 6s. So basically Rise has 2 6s he can draw. Kyrol 4, 5, 6. Yeah, Kyrol's not got that many options either. Kyrol's only got 2. So technically Rise is the better reach here. But I love it. Rise Sumos. So Riichi Sumo Pinfu, Dora 1. And we'll see what Kyrol gets on his next round. And this is probably an auto hand from him here, going Chitoitsu. Might go Chitoitsu Honitsu, depending on how lucky he gets here, but he'll go for whatever comes here. Gets rid of an Orphan C at some point. Yeah, might be considering Honitsu. Meanwhile, Rise has got a nice hand as well. Dragon's always a nice thing to have, because you can call regardless of what he has here. Ishan turned for 7 pairs on Kyrol's side. Jesper has got a fast hand as well here. This is going to be over quickly. Piffles, I think, the slowest hand, but it's not a bad one. Yep, Kyrol deciding just auto fast, which is fair. Doesn't have any interest beyond just going for the Chitoitsu at this point. Cutting the 7s to go for Honitsu now. Probably not just with that, but you know. Given he's got 2 Dora, he'll take anything to become dealer at this stage. Come on, play with me. I'm lonely. Play Mahjong. Go play the game. I see. Oh, we still need one more. Then we can play the game. Alright, so Rise reaching, waiting on the 6-pin. Every hand should be a Suanko attempt. I mean, to be fair, before you open up and reveal your hand of 13 tiles, you want to envision it being a Yakuman. The absolute maximum. You want to envision that. So I suppose from that perspective, I look at... Alright, Carol just had reach, but I did deal in with that. Jesper picks up the win. That was a little manic. Which parts of Fedora? Could you have kept that 2 in hand? I think generally speaking, it's 2 reaches. You just want the safest tile you have available and try to work around it. But we'll see. Okay, so Rise is dealer in 2nd place with a not too bad starting hand. It's a little awkward to get any auto Gaku out of this, but reach and stuff is probably fine as dealer. Kyle has 2 Dora and a much better starting hand. Sakagiri was an option. Piffles looks like he's going for the Honitsu, Chitoitsu, or something of that nature. Which might involve triplets, depending on how this goes. It might just be Chinitsu here. In fact, I'd say that's a really good attempt. That's a really good Chinitsu hand. One, 2, and 8 is his potential calls from anybody. So yeah, just has to hope to luck into a couple of middle tiles, and he's there. Back to it. All right, thanks for joining us, lady. And I shall have some appropriate Mahjong haikus for the next time. No worries. Sure we will. Okay, so Rise, having drawn the 5, decides to cut that. He might be looking at trying to go for a Tanyo now, just so he's got something a bit more options with calling. And I think Chinitsu is still the attempt here, because he's also got the Toy as a potential backup. You'd probably want to cut the East earlier if you're going for a proper Chinitsu, but again, it's not bad anyway. And it limits what other people can do if there's an obvious 1-suit hand on the table. Oh, Chinitsu Toy is an interesting one. My doubt concealed Khan. Oh boy. It's all good. Alright, so Chinitsu Toy. Baiman. So that pretty much limits people to not playing any kind of Pinsy tile except 7-pin right now. Meanwhile, Rise cutting the 9s, hoping to get around things. New 7 was safe, though that pause was probably not nice for Jesper at that point. Oh, and Rise still playing. I mean, all the 8s are gone. He can. Well, actually, he can't guarantee that, but still. Doesn't beat Ryan, unfortunately. Ryan is still the king of hands. We hope to see Ryan again soon. We miss him. Absolutely not. Yeah, absolutely not playing a 2 in that position. 7-7, so Dora. What is he actually waiting on? He's waiting on a 3-6. 2-6 is stuck in Jesper's hand. We'll see. Yeah. Again, it's not that, you know, Ryan's an okay hand. It's free hand. Normally gets attached with a lot of other things as well, just by the nature of it and how awkward it is to pull off. But it's nice to see Ryan every now and then. Oh! Piffles had to go for that, unfortunately. You've got a Bime in hand. There's no fault in going for it. The downside is, of course, you've given away a Mungan to Chiral. But yeah, from a Bime start, that's... Oh. Okay, well, let's see. Now, you got a Buyman, you can't really afford to fold, because the opportunity cost is a Buyman puts you massively back into the game. So it's worth even risking a tile you're next to certain is the winning one. Yeah, folding that is not a great position, because also the other side note is you don't know that the 1 and the 5 are going to be safe. You can make a reasonable educated guess the 1 is, but it's not a guaranteed thing. So Piffle's now just calling for points. Needs to become dealer. Needs to get a bit of a run going. Let's see what Rise is up to. Rise is just holding off here. He can card at any time because he's now got the sequence independent of that. And he's Shanten for it. The question is, when's he going to pull that trigger? Hopefully when he can go Karn Reach, but it's not a guaranteed thing. Chiral also has Dora free. I mean, I'm jammy, but that is ridiculous levels of jam going on there. Still Ishanten, but a slightly better Ishanten for Chiral. Is somebody going to accelerate away from him here? Okay, so Rise now has Tanyo as his Yaku, so he can now pull the trigger for that reason as well. Max damage. I suppose there is a thing, although that's just stacking. Who knows? All right, Piffles with the T7, so has Tempai, Tanyo, and away. I mean, to be fair, they don't know they're up into Dora free hand. This is how you fight a Dora hand. You just go massively quick. And just deals in with that 2 for a Tanyo Dora 1. Unfortunate, but Rise never hit the Senpai with that, so... These things happen. Okay, Piffles, dealer turn. Needs something here. This looks reasonable for Honitsu. If you can get an early south, then just progress from that. Hope to complete things. See how it goes. Chiral has got a starting set of dragons. The rest of hand isn't great, at least for connectivity's sake, but he'll develop. Rise has a bunch of Dora in his hand, free. But again, the white dragon on its own is an awkward thing to maintain. He'll either get rid of it early or it's permanent fixture of his hand, depending on which way this rumps out. Piffles has also drawn another sequence. So Honitsu is definitely the plan for Piffles. Does he get rid of it now? Nope. It's going to hold on to it. Might end up being in a white dragon only weight by the end of it, but... Oh, completely set of souths as well. So now he's got that out the way. I mean, to be fair, he was already set up for Honitsu, so he could call anything regardless, but... Well, let's see what Rise does here. Gets rid of the white dragon, and it passes because there are none in anybody else's hand. Piffles with the Karn and goes for it. So Karn, unfortunately, that 2 might be a 2-man being the Karn is good for what he's trying to do, but might mean people are more reluctant to not play it. That being said, Piffles wasn't playing the 2 anyway. True. Well, there we go. Reach on the west or the red. Both of them are reasonable. He's gone Dharma... Well, actually, no, of course he doesn't reach. He's got there. No, he could have reached, actually. So I'd get Dharma on west. And this is a good weight, but I'd have reached with it. With 1 out of that tile, I think it's a perfect sort of non-suspicious thing to be waiting on. Because I think West might have come out anyway, even if he had reached. Not necessarily from that position, but with 1 on the table, you and also it not being a round wind or any bonus wind. I don't know. I think he could have possibly avoided to take that for a reach. We got the Mungan, though, so you can't complain at it. But Hmm. Either way, he's put himself back into the game with that one. So he's now Mongan Sumo from... You can complain. Yes, you can complain. He's Mongan Sumo from an upset at this stage. He has given Kyril the lead, which I don't approve of. Rise has 5 dragons, which is enough for a genuine Daisangan attempt. His hand also is quite good anyway, in spite of that. But that might be the awkward thing here. He's got a good hand if he only had 2 of these. That's Tenpai, if he wants it. Doesn't take the Tenpai, which I think is a struggle in my position to not take a Tenpai from there. But he's going for glory. Going for glory. Could have a toy out of that quite neatly as well there. There's a second red, so that's red's done. And now it just feels bad that he didn't keep the... we'll see. We'll see. So Tenpai as well for Piffles, waiting on the 4-man. And Piffles Sumos. So Tanyo Dora free, and that's the lead. So, has the Mongan. Now it's just a case of can he solidify the lead and can he get enough of a gap so that he can't be chased. It's another good starting hand, this one. Honestly, this is a great starting hand. He's Shanten after the first discard, so... It depends whether that South comes out. Rise has a set of dragons. Kyril has a pair of East, but nothing spectacular that's going to help him to a quick hand here. Yeah, Piffles is not... Well, actually, Jesper's hand's not too slow. But it's going to be between these two in terms of outright speed at this point, and that's the race 1. Piffles now cuts the 8 to the 5 for Tenpai. 7-pin Tenpai for South only. Which is enough to push the game on, so at least it pushed the game on towards him anyway. If he pairs up the 7 or the 8, later down the line, he can calm the 6s. Although with the 6 in Kyril's hand and as part of a sequence, he's not going to get that one. Triplet Beasts. How far is Kyril away from being able to counterattack? Couple away. Piffle's in high jam mode, indeed. Although, admittedly, he's not got a lot of value out of this one, but... But, you know, a chain of dealer repeats isn't about value necessarily. It's about just, you know, being faster and just securing the points here. Kyril picks up Vidora 7. Which, of course, he can make use of so he's going to. I think that's the one downside with Piffle's current weight, is that with it being the Dora, it's less likely to come out. That being said, Well, we'll see. Maintains it, because that is correct decision, I guess, right now. You are now factoring in your hand's quite cheap value against an unknown reach. 2's a half Suji here, but it's not a definite thing. And Kyril is coming back into this kind of rapidly. No. There is the dealing. Reach Ura 2. And Jesper just nips ahead of Rise for 3rd place. Alright, Kyril's dealer turn. He has dragons. He has Dora. And the hand needs a bit of work. Rise. 2 Dora. A few loose honor tiles. Need some work. They all need work, of course, but, you know. His hand's not the worst. If you can get that early white, I think that solves a lot of his problems out. It might end up being a Piffles versus Kyril thing here. In terms of rough speed. Jesper, if he gets lucky, could be joining that as well, but he needs a couple of close weights. And also Kyle has Dora 1 that he needs to do something with, which is going to partially slow him down. Well, did up until that point. So now, okay, there's the reach from Piffles. 3-6 pin weight. Just going to make getting rid of those Dora more awkward. So Cairo might be... Well, we'll see how Cairo plays this, because it is his dealer turn. He needs to be slightly concerned about the value coming back. Because he will lose more points if Piffles sumos. Meanwhile, Rise is Ishanten. Last place, but less than 10 from a dealer. So he's got time if he doesn't... Rise doesn't need to win this hand, but obviously if he can get a Dora 2 Pinfu, it's probably worth doing. And that is another half step forward for Jesper as well. And that is Tenpai. So, 258... Reach for Jesper. Followed up by Riichi and Sumo. I mean, that's the second time Rise has that's just happened to Rise. Riichi Patsu and a Mungan for Jesper. He takes the lead and has crossed the 30k threshold. Alright. Rise, dealer, South free. Let's see what he can do. Jesper's hand is not great at that point. Had to deal with a triple reach twice now. He has. He's dealt with it well. And to be fair, this is his hand. This is his reward for doing so. What is a very, very nice opening hand here. A couple of triplets, the 9s. I mean, you can't really go for anything uber valuable here, but, you know. He's Tenpai with that. So, yeah, reach on the free pin. 2 of them are in Piffle's hand. 2 of them still to be drawn. Well, let's see how much that's going to slow everybody down. Rise's hand is still quite quick, though, as dealer. He could definitely go for a Tanyo to just try and counter that. Piffles has a bit more to think about, because he's obviously in a close battle for the lead. Jesper as well. It's going to be Rise who's going to fight this one, I think, because he needs points. Oh, I think we might be saying hello possibly to Ryan? Is Ryan around? Can Ryan come out and play? Unfortunately, Ryan said he failed, but you know. We don't want to hear that. We don't want to hear that. But is he going to be failed because he just got Tenpai, incidentally? Or, yeah, we can see. But the thing is, Ryan rarely comes alone. He almost always comes with Pinfu just because of the nature of the hand you're building. Which means it's Mungan before you do anything else. Yeah, Rise is just skipping, which is... Thing is, on a certain level, I think he should abandon Ryan and do it. He knows the 7 is safe as well. So he could have just taken the Tenpai with that. But I know the appeal of Ryan. Tenpai for Piffles. Yeah, this is what I mean. We're given he needs points. This is his last dealer turn, and the game is close to an end. I'd be inclined to just take any Tenpai I can get. Especially given you've got multiple calls against you. Admittedly 2 in a reach, but still. If Cairo wins, you basically have lost your best opportunity to get points. Well, that's all the frees eaten up in Cairo's hand. Even up in between Jesper and Piffles. But we'll see. Because the thing is now, if Rise isn't Tempai, he's down to one shot. Piffles, however, takes the lead as we go into South 4. 1 reach stick, 1 repeat. Plenty of points on the board. 1,000 will do for Jesper. How can he get 1,000 points? Needs to pair something up. One of the dragons, ideally. Rise starting with Paracelsus is probably the best he could go to. Let's see. Well, the GGs are coming in, so we know it's going to end possibly this hand, possibly next hand. We'll see. You threw the game. Oh, dear. We'll keep an eye on it, because your hand looks quite fast from up top, in all honesty. You are a way away from the win, but... Actually, how many points are you behind second? You are 5-8, so not impossible for you to hit that since you've got 1 Dora. On the Brian attempt, you mean? Probably. Yeah, I'm seeing it here. The problem is you've got no easy Yaku to go into, but equally with the Manzu sets you've currently got... I don't know why you say you were never going to win this. You are looking quite good from this. I mean, Reach, Pinfu, 1 Dora is 3 Han. You wouldn't need that much, or even a possible direct hit, given the points gaps. We shall see. Possible Itsu. Possible Shinitsu if Jesper's feeling really ambitious, or he's feeling absolutely ridiculously ambitious. There is a potential for gates here. Although, to be fair, this is the sort of hand where you open it, have this, and consider gates. But yeah, Jesper only needs 1,000 points to win, so... And of course he's the dealer, so it's 1,500 points really, minimum for dealer, of course, but... Pretty much, that's what it seems to be. Oh, especially when you now draw a 5, yeah. Does that put Piffles in? Piffles doesn't take it. Yeah, I think if you were going to do the 3-4 get rid of, you should have gone all in and just taken the 8 that Rise just gave you. But I can understand why you wouldn't. Free from gates. He is free from gates, but it's not likely that it's going to happen. Especially since I'm fairly certain the 9s are done. Oh, this is the call for Tempai. Or call for something. Okay, so Rice is the only person to gain plus out of that, and that ends the game with Piffles just about above the 30k threshold. So, congrats Piffles for the win. Alright, I am yet to play today, so I think what's going to happen here is that I am going to go into a game and I'm going to start rolling off the people. So, I'm setting myself up for this one, and we have 5 potential contenders. So, let's roll off. We hit a number 1, so Prospero. We hit a number 2, which is Piffles. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We hit a 1, so that's Solar. So it is myself, Prospero, Piffles, and Solar for the next game. Start. Alright, good luck. And yeah, if any of them were tempo, we'd have gone again. Alright, so we start North Wind. We have a fairly okay start. We'll see. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Do you need us to pause for a bit? Excellent, I can go make tea. Indeed, go and make some tea. This is a hard table. I mean, I think the table you were on previously might have been harder, got to be honest. And initially, Puffin, you should be muted, so I hear it, but I've got a feeling that this previous table was harder than this one. I don't know. We shall see. Not going to go full commit on the Honitsu here, but it's probably where we want to go. I did put random seat. Yeah, random seat is on, so it is random. And first, I didn't click you first anyway, so... Ooh, nice. Okay, so we're definitely going Honitsu then. Fortunately, I didn't call the West, which I really should have done. So that might be something that bothers me later, but it's a reasonable pair. We can work on the rest of it. And now we're at Ishantan for Riichi and Noddle, Reach of 1. Maybe we're not going Honitsu here. Maybe we just take the win. Well, let's see what happens here. We're in an 8-pin only weight if this comes this way anyway, so it's not the best. We'll play East because at some point we're going to have to. Yeah, Piffles takes that. Green is safe, so we can afford to hold that for our last discard. And there have been a lot of calls going on here, so what are we looking at up top? Honitsu? Maybe? Peregrines. If we're going against the Honitsu here... Yeah, let's get rid of our risky ones first. That's what I didn't want to see that free so, because that could have put him in tempo and then meant he'd have been waiting on this. As he's not discarded any of them at this point, I'm assuming he's not there. This is not a definite assumption, of course, but you know. So we look like we're going into some form of pair weight here. But we now do have the Honitsu. Getting rid of East first here. I'm going to be 8's more dangerous, but I think it's 4 calls now, so I'm potentially folding this one out. We'll see. Red's fine. See, if I was confident about the 8, I'd have changed that up there, but I'm really not. This 8 is not a good tile for right in this moment. Ah, it's fine. I'm always looking to tank my ranking. Okay. That changes what we can do here, because now we can go cut those wests that we kept early on in the game and beat Ishanten. We could do Tenpai here, but I don't think that's a good call, so we're going to avoid it. Oh, okay. It definitely wasn't a good call. So Piffles with East only. 1,000-point trade. I don't think Solo's going to be too upset with that in the grand scheme of things. There are bigger turns potentially on the table. Okay, Piffle starts with South. So potentially just going for a quick attack to take the dealership, which is fine by us because that moves the dealership closer to us anyway. Draw a dragon. We'll go 9 for the moment. We're not... Really, I want to get rid of this on the next turn if I'm going to. Otherwise, we're going to have to keep it and try and work out a way of doing it. 2 pairs already established in the hand. Yeah, it's tricky. Gonna cut the east. We're gonna keep the green though. So Sozi very cheap at the start of the game. There's one. We're not going to worry too much about that for the moment. One of them going is fine. It just might lead to the rest of them going out. We're not going to play the second one, though. We're going to hold off and hope that we can potentially pair this up and grab some value. I mean, this would be the ideal time for us to draw a second green, actually. 5's not a bad draw, actually, if I was going to just ask for a random thing. So, yeah, it does mean we're probably going to have to play this, I think, with where the rest of the progression's going. Piffle's continually playing tiles that we can use is not great for us. Hold off a turn. One more turn before we play the green. Back with tea! Huzzah! Alright, so that's the second, so now we are definitely tossing our green. And with that gone, I'm not sure what our hand's actually doing. Avoiding Piffles, I think, actually. I mean, the Tanyo attack's a thing that we could probably be going for here, so... Yep, that was pretty much it. A lot of things happened, but that was ultimately the result of it. Yeah, let's go for this. We're 2 away, but I don't feel a reason to worry about what Piffles is doing, I think, here. 2 Han. Could be Honitsu. But if it is, we can work around that. Let's just put some pressure on the table for a bit. Oh, Manzu I can't call. 7-pin I can't discard now. Oh well. That was the grand attempt at attacking over. We need 7-pin to be proven safe now. Hasn't played 7s, hasn't played 5s. Let's go 4-3. And the 7 just gets proven safe right there when I don't need it to be. Oh well. Oh dear. So I'm fairly certain 5 and 7 would have both been safe. White's fine. But our hand isn't too valuable, so we don't want to overcommit here. But if we can hit Tenpai on the next call, we'll do so. One was played fairly recently. Yeah, Freeman being proven safe by solo is quite useful for us as well. East is fine. We can hold that for our last discard. 2 more draws to go. We're just playing the definite game at the moment because we've got to worry about what the others are doing at this stage. Instead, if we can still call for Tempai, we'll probably do so. 2-pin. 2-pin's not a good draw here. Alright, 7 it is then. We're out of this one. Also, we have Demo currently queued up as well, so we are 1 away from another game if people are interested. Also, hello Demo. Alright, 2-player Tempai, 6-pin, 8-pin. Alright, Pivotal Stakes video shit then. Let's see what he can do with it. Yeah, what we can do with this. This is interesting. So, obvious Honitsu attempt is obvious, I think, here. I don't like getting rid of 2 middle 5 straight away, but hey, we've done it now, so let's see. Or is it? Good question. I mean, I've committed to holding the south at this point, which I hadn't talked about, but I think we kind of are committed there. We are south, so it is our wind. So that makes it more valuable for us. It's also not a bonus tile at the moment. And yeah, we're kind of looking okay here. Red's also safe to get rid of, so that's useful. We might go full Chinitsu with this one, I'm not sure. Depends how lucky we get and if we get any opportunities to call in the next few turns. Well, hold off on the red for the moment because that's pretty much our last safe discard. North is also safe, but progression. Of course, we can only really call the 8-pin from these two at the moment. 1-4 is quite useful for Piffles if he wants to play it. But that's 1. Balsam Monogeshi for Solar. No, that's 8 discards. He doesn't have it. Nowhere near. Alright, this might be greedy, but we're going to go for it anyway. So we've got some options here. We could also call the 5 here and just go for it. Who knows? If it there's the 8. There we go. That's done. No Nageshi for you. Kanya? Kanya, you say? Okay, well, that doesn't leave us with a lot of options here, but this is a Chinitsu. So 2-5 Chinitsu attempt. This is 7 with the current thing we got here. We don't necessarily need the red 5, but you can't turn it on a Hanneman. Is that better? I said we already have the red 5, so we have Hanneman regardless of whether we have Tanya or not. So yeah, we're going to cut the red 5 here. I think that's a better weight. All the 2s are gone, so clearly the 1 is going to be more safe. If you have to play it. There we go. Riichi Kaiho. Chinitsu. Hanuman. Thank you for all the points, Biffles. I am a jammy goit. Don't you forget it. Alright, dealer turn then. Oh, this is going brilliantly. No, it didn't. As I say, the 1-1. Technically, I suppose I might have kept the... No, because I wouldn't have won there. It's fine. It's what it did what it needed to. So that's 2 cards that have drawn me useful tiles. Shame I can't call anything for this with the 7-8-9 in hand, but still. This is about as good as it goes. Gave you the correct draw. Absolutely. And I suppose taking points off everybody is at least a more general advantage. I can't do anything with that. Oh, here's the question. I suppose since we've played the 2 already... What's been out? It's only 1. There's not really any difference here. But the 6 is going to be a risky tile, so we'll go for that. I hate this SBR! I'm not good about it. I really did not enjoy SBR. I'm still kind of doing it, but, you know, I'm not enjoying it. But definitely can't. Everything seems to be the guest plan right now. Prospero's taken the win off me. He hasn't got a lot of value out of it, thankfully. Hatsu only. Which, from a dealer perspective, we will take. So, close battle for second. In fact, there is a really tight battle for second here, and we're just trying to stay above it. So, South 1. And will we be able to make a card in this hand? Possibly, depending if we get fortunate here drawing triples. In the meantime, we have all of the odd Sozu. So, possibility time. I mean, I was half joking, but actually that does help the hand out a little bit, so... Prosper with the middle 5 early, so just culling a suit, I guess. How many points behind? I mean, so everybody's about the same distance, 13,000 behind. Sozu Honitsu. This is true. You didn't complain once at all of those near misses. To be fair, though, your luck was quite good at getting them in the first place in a lot of ways. Number of opening hands I just looked at and thought, yep, that's lucky. That's Mangan instantly. Alright, so draw the 8, so hope to draw something 2-5 to go pin to Ipeiko. That's a consolation prize, indeed. Itso? Not quite. Get rid of the 2-man, though. Do I want to go into Pros? Yeah, I guess we might as well. Doesn't really do us a great deal of harm. We're fairly certain that he is going for a Honitsu based on his discards, but have to be real what the other two are doing to a certain extent here. But actually, ignoring things, Pinzu seem quite cheap at the moment, so we can probably afford to play a couple of middle ones if we need to. But, well, it is worse. You didn't stop him doing it. Oh, okay, Dragon only. Dragon only to become dealer is absolutely fine with us. Bessie's got a couple of 9s, I guess. Which I was debating as something awkward here. I don't really want to give him this, but equally, I need to get rid of it. The 8s are gone, so... Okay, immediately draw a pair of them. I don't believe him when he says misclick. He's in Tenpai for a big hand. That was clearly not a misclick. I hope I'm going to take this and play the 4 that I know is safe to him. Well, I knew it was safe to him. Pinball Simple's 1. Okay. Bit unfortunate there, and it puts Solar back in the game, which I wouldn't have liked. It puts me below 30k, so now I've got to actually play again. Yeah, I think you've left value on the table there, but... I knew it was safe that way. That's the thing. I knew it was safe to Piffles. That's the one I was concerned with. And I was right. It was totally safe to Piffles. He'll play on North. It is a thing. Although, to be fair, I don't think he'd given any Tenpai indicators, really. With what he discarded at that point, it was still looking Tanpinish. Could have been head bump, but Piffles wasn't complaining, so I don't imagine that was... Well, actually, yeah, that's a fair point. So I could lose whatever points I haven't already lost. This is true. To be fair, given how infrequently I update that darn table, you might not lose them for a while. All right, 7-pin. We can go and steal some points back. We only need 1,000 to cross the line again, so... We also have a two-sided weight almost certainly, whichever way we do this, so... Maybe I should have cut west rather than free here, but we'll go free. Save the west for a safe tile later down the line in case we need to bail, although I don't think we are with this hand, given that we've committed. Right, free 6. Free 6 with 2 of the 6s out. We can still calm the green, though. Yeah, it's worth the risk here. Half CD at least. We're in South 1. We could play the West and go around this. I'm going to risk it. Alright, so I've given Solar 2 safe tiles, unfortunately, but hey, that is the risk. 9 we know is safe. I mean, to be fair, I only have green and 1, so it's not the... Oh, we got the win off Prospero. We only had green and 1, so it wasn't the best of attacks. But we already called twice, so from that perspective, I kind of already committed myself. And we at least got some payout for that, playing as safe as we could. It was unlikely he was going to be on the east, but there was that chance. Could have reached precisely because he was on east, I guess. Pair weight required or something of that nature. Anyway, let's see what we can do with this. What we can do with this is get rid of the white dragon. This is true, you can do that. Not sure on these. We might actually be... Might be getting rid of them and going for something like Tanyo attack here, just trying to move the game on quickly. We have a 4-8 lead over Solar, which isn't enough at the moment, but... Yeah, okay, let's cut that. It would incredibly be cheating, but we might allow it in some weird challenge format at some point. Yeah, I guess we throw that for the moment. I'm kind of leaning to just getting rid of these Easts at this point. Yeah, okay, we're getting rid of the Easts, I think. Safest option we have. Actually, we've got White Dragon, that's safer. And somebody else took the risk before we did, so that's fine. So if we go East 9 and then we just try and make a Tanyo attack work. Pibbles is kind of doing the attack for us, which is at least something. So we can hold a 7 just a 4, which is quite nice. Let's play 9 since we now know that is safe. So our Tanyo attack isn't looking too bad here. The problem is, I guess, the Friso, in terms of what's actually get riddable. Okay, Pibbles deals in. So that puts us in a freeway battle for the lead then, I believe. Oh, actually, you went Hanneman. That might actually be... That's in the lead. Sorry, I'm completely wrong about that. Okay, so 5,000 down. Piffle's on 2,000 points. This game could be very shortly over. So, we start with a triplet of Wests. We have a triplet of red 5s as well. I think we're just going to attack this one and hope we come out the other side winning. And winning by enough. So technically Ishanten. We have the freedom to do some carnage if we want to. Some options here. And I think as much as I don't want to do it, we're tossing Medora now. We had to toss... Something fell off the table. Had to toss Medora now because it was going to get more and more dangerous the longer we kept it. We do not want to be discarding Medora last. Ideally, we don't want to be discarding this middle 5 either, but... Middle Dora more dangerous than that, I guess. Unfortunately, now we've drawn the tile that meant we could have kept it, but hey. Well, we've added some mini point value. That might be relevant. Buffin's attempting to either bluff that he's got multiple door out of that, or actually has multiple door out of that. We may find out at some stage. Puffin being safe is good for us. Unfortunately, 9 would be for a 10, but we'll might as well keep this open just in case we get the chance to call it. All right, 5, 8, 9. And a reach from Prospero. Well, I'm keeping the tempo. If he wins, he wins. Got away with that one a little bit, but hey, Western won. That won't knock Spiffles out of the game. Does put him down on a ridiculously low level and does give us the win. So any small hand, and hope we get it off Piffles. I mean, Prospero could have had a big hand, and I was giving you the Patsu as well, but oh, Piffles is going to recover. We can't have that. We can't have Piffles recovering. I'm just about to win. So look, totally taking a win off Piffles is fine. He's got a free-hand hand, and he sumos. That's not enough to overtake me, so that's the ideal. Solar has a free-hand hand. I mean, actually, even getting a Mungan would give him, what, 2 on me, 8 there. So yeah, him getting a Mungan's not enough. Mungan from Solar is exactly what we want, actually. We'll see whether that comes off. We'll play South here. And it looks like he might have a Honitsu attempt going on, or at least he's leaning towards it. Might not have it. Tempted to give him some useful tiles, but this leads into a sort of trap where I just deal into him and then everything goes wrong. So, yeah, I don't know. Tempted. Far easier and far neater for us to just win ourselves, in all honesty. It's a good draw. All right, let's start giving away some Sozi tiles. Doesn't want the 2. He might not even be in a Honitsu, in all honesty. This might just be incidentally how he's drawn things up. Might have some Hypinzu, might have some... Yeah, might just be trying to cull the Manti. Who knows? But we're just leaning towards the quickest hand we can make at this stage. Which looks like Prospero's plan as well, although he presumably has enough value to re-overtake me. 2 hand would probably be enough. With a triplet. Beaming bad. Solid play good. Haven't had a tempo indicator from Solar, at least on this Honitsu attempt, but that was a middle 5 that came out not that long ago. Okay, so it's not a Honitsu attempt. That means we can probably afford to deal into Solar if we need to. I don't mean that often. I just do silly things that aren't necessarily memes. So Solar, we presume then, is on a bonus tile just quick attack counts. Probably either has a triplet or is just waiting on it. So, So I'm wondering if we can go for this. Let's play 7. Could be green. In fact, it probably is green because he doesn't have a lot of other ways he can do about things. Problem is, we need to give him things that he needs. But I also can't afford to give tiles to other people. So I hadn't looked in Discord since the start of the stream, but I'll get on it. I always watch the Puritsus. There's the green. That's game. Yeah, he's got Tudor as well. Hatsu Tudor 2. That should put him still in the same position. We take the win. Victory and chips. Take my third. I mean, to be fair, it's the only bonus tile he had left. I thought he might be on West as well, but if he was kind of out on that. Anyway, I'm going to do an observation round for this one. So I've had Jesper, Rise, and Demo waiting. And then I'll do a roll-off for whoever wants to be player 4. Unless it's just going to be Prospero, because he's the only one queued up at the moment. So I'll give it a few moments. Okay, so it's Prospero or Solar. So it's going to be odds-evens at this point. Pubbin says he's done. All right. Prospero odds, Solar evens. I roll a 3, so Prospero gets in. Okay. Analysis and experience, honestly, and without being behind you, I couldn't tell you whether some of the odd pushes were worth it or not. Yeah. I mean, ultimately, that was my thing. While he still had the possibility of being a Honitsu, I couldn't really afford to deal into him because I would have lost to Prospero. If he's only got the 1,000 point hand, it's worth it, but I've also got to worry about Dora, which I didn't have any info on. I think with that, you couldn't have done a lot better. You might have been better pressed trying to snipe a win off of myself or Prospero to take second. But, I don't know. You could have not taken the win there, I guess, but you gained some value. Not enough, though. We really need to do that. I'm just not being organised. That is my own fault. I mean, to be fair, let's find the log here. Can I actually add this from this end? Or do I have to do this back in the... Okay, there we go. So I've now added that to my review list. We've got it on there. That will happen. I don't know when it will happen, but it will happen. I've saved it. The log is there. People can keep reminding and prodding me in Discord. It will happen. All right. But again, I'm going to have to analyze it myself ahead of time and take some notes. especially being self-critical of myself. Indeed. I'm probably going to be busy for much of the weekend because I've got family over, but some point in the week, next week, we can work that out. Get myself, Kyril, to at least do some proper rundown analysis on the actual hand, see if we can come up with any themes and general advice we can give out, and maybe just throw in Piffles or Solar into the chat as well, just because they happen to be in the game. And then talk at them for a half an hour or an hour, however long it's going to take. Could be a thing. Anyway. How long have we got? 152 seconds. So I'm going to go and grab a drink. I will be back in a couple of moments. Bear with. Right, remember to unpause the mic first. Oh, dear. Right, how long have we got? 64 seconds. Going outside to play with people. Yeah. Oh, dear. Last game we got double reach food. Here's the thing. Yeah, the Uridura is a bit lucky, and depending on whether he's... did he draw the Ipatsu? He didn't say sumo, so I'm not sure. Double reaches happen. They're not necessarily going to always be a thing that happens every time, but, you know, the chance is there. And knowing how to handle a fast hand is a different skill to handling a slow, plodding hand. Both are skills you need. Yeah, sometimes it's just unfortunate. That's the other thing about Mahjong. Sometimes you just have to accept that things like that happen. If you get angry about it, then you're going to lose all possibility of coming back. Yeah, you have no rights to win any hand in this game. The best you can do is maximize your chances and hope that when you get the opportunity to do your big hand, you've gotten as close as possible to finishing it as you can, safely. So, we have some interesting starts here. Both Rise and Prospero have some Yakuhai pairs, and a Alien Wind pair as well. One was here a couple of weeks ago. I double reached a couple of weeks ago, didn't I? I mean, starting hands are always about luck, but where the skill comes in is how you actually manage that hand. And the various decisions that you have an option at each point during the game state. Alright, no worries, Puffin. Thanks for joining us. I'll catch you next week. As I say, this is probably going to be the last game, unless we get another one starting up fairly soon. But I think this is pretty much the table at this point. So, Demo, Jesper, Prospero, myself, and Solar. So... yeah, that happens, because sometimes... the thing is, double reaches are just whatever you have to be waiting on. Most early reaches are going to be less... yeah. This is true. And it's possible that during the various evolutions of Tiles of Confusion, we may even play some of them at some stage, but who knows? Generally speaking, the better players will rise to the top against once you play enough games, anyway. Anyway, so Prospero hits Tempo with 2 calls, just that's East and... unless your name is Kyril. He doesn't always. This is... you can't disparage Kyril's skill like that. Well, you could. You obviously can, but, you know. Alright, so Jesper trying to counterattack then Tempo. There are 2 7s still left in the wall that Prospero could draw, and obviously if he draws a 5, then improves his hand as well. Jesper also 2 calls for Ishanten. Still needs a pair, which is the thing slowing him down at the moment. And he's drawn the 3rd of Prospero's potential winners. Meanwhile, Demo is that Tempai for Demo? That is Ishanten for Demo, sorry. And now Prospero can change it to a 4-7. Fortunately, it's a Furuten 4-7, so I'm not necessarily certain that was... well... I don't know about this one. I mean, to be fair, he's now upped his number of winners that he can see at least from 4 to 7, but... well, it doesn't always work, but it's still it's a Hanneman hand, basically. You can't expect to get a Hanneman hand to work every time. But the fact that you've got that Hanneman attempts is, you know, Opportunity cost. If you pulled that off, that was probably game winning. Given it was a tight game for most of it. So Jesper makes a call for Tenpai waiting on the 6. So Rise, double door up, and 4 pairs. So a little bit of an awkward one for him. Goes for the call and gets rid of the 2s. Okay, so Ishanten then for Rise. Because drawing the 3rd of everything is always awkward. Oh, that's going to be where Rise deals in the moment. Usually. There are depends on the Cheetoy in all honesty. Same with everything else. But you'd be fairly unfortunate to not get at least one safe tile out of it. If you needed to fold it. Alright, Demo Sumos. Hatsu Dora 2, is that? Nope. Yep, Dora 2. Yeah, they do occasionally align. But thankfully you didn't get one this week, so it's all good. But there's still an opportunity for somebody else to get one. So, Rise with a reasonable start. I should have moved to Prospero. Sorry. Who... Yeah, it's good. No bonus pairs or anything to worry about, so he's just looking probably for just Pinfu, possibly an Itsu, possibly a Sanchiku. Now he's got that 7-8 in all suits. Jesper's hand looks fairly strong. Tudora, isolated. One of those is isolated, but not bad otherwise. And Demo has a bit of work to do, so Prospero probably with the fastest hand. But let's see. I don't think that's necessarily true based on things, Cairo. I think you go for it about when it's appropriate. And I think with 4 pairs, you want to keep it as an option. If you have less than 4 pairs, you probably don't. But well, that is the key. Sometimes that happens as well. Most commonly falling into Cheetoys when you have a failed Kokushi attempt. So, Prospero, Ishanten for Riichi, Pinfu. Probably not an Itsu unless he gets extremely fortunate here. Oh, I hadn't noticed you doing that, but okay. Or at least I hadn't noticed you deliberately doing that, but clearly I didn't see a lot of bad hands today. Okay, so Riichi and Pinfu for Prospero. And with quite a few outs that are actually still on the wall. Alright, what's the response here? Gets rid of a pair of 9s. I mean, Jesper's not a million miles away from Tenpai himself for Tanyo Dora 2. Demo has a couple of triplets up top, but is still a little disjointed, so he's probably going to fold out if he gets a reasonable chance to. Yeah, fair. So, Rise continuing. And just with his first major decision here, does he think that... No, he's going to fold out. Playing the 4, which I assume Suji to 7. He also has a triplet of the 5, so it's unlikely to be... Well, we'll see. Alright, and that's the Riichi from Demo, waiting on the 5-8. pin with 2 card abilities, I suppose. And goes Ipatsu. That's fairly fortunate. And he must have... Has he hit a referee, or is that just the Ipatsu nonsense? Oh, he's hit 1 extra. But yeah, with a Seat Wind as well, he actually got the Hanuman with that. So Demo with the first major hand of the game. Jesper currently in second as dealer, half the points of the player in the lead, with a very strong start. Assuming we had an all on a 7-pair Shanten, would it be worth calling to... If you have all honors, you have a Yakuman, I'd probably stay with the Shanten. I don't think that's even really a thing to be... Yeah. If you're Shanten for a Yakuman attempt, no matter how unlikely, you want to keep it for as long as it is possible. Especially a 7 pairs Shanten means you've got 3 pairs you're waiting on, so... Yeah. The exception would be if you started getting some triplets, but... If you're getting triplets, then you're looking towards the easier Yakuman at that point, rather than... Well, that was rapid. I hadn't even got to analysing the hands, but Prospero picks up a quick win while I'm not paying attention. And now Prospero is in second place. That's true. And if you've got an initial starting hand with all of those, you're very, very likely to just get opportunities to get triplets if you get them early. But I think that's the key. If you started drawing the triplets, go for it. But beyond that, yeah, Chitoi is better. I mean, technically, you go from 1 away to going to 3 away if you start calling those pairs. So that puts you back 2 steps. And also, the critical thing about calling in that position, Solar, is that you're giving away that you're going for that sort of hand on some level. So people start at least getting the hint that it's a 1-suit hand, potentially, depending on how your discards go. Yeah, they will all be more aware of it. Although, in my case, as mentioned, if I see somebody has called 2 dragons, I will always discard that 3rd dragon, because they do not have it. That being said, they so far have yet to have it. Might not necessarily always be the case. So Demo looking against 2 calls from Jasper here. Yeah, see, Jasper does not have the greens. He may have called 2 dragons, but he does not have greens. He does have a really good hand, though. And Demo falls out, but that is the pickup from Rise, unfortunately. Well, the thing is, this is the equation you've got to work out here. Is the chance they're going to call that 3rd one worth you abandoning your hand? Because if they don't, here's the thing, if they have it, you want to be advancing your hand as quickly as possible, because you need to stop that Yakuman from happening. If they don't have it, then you know the hand is only worth 2 Han at the moment for the 2 dragons. And even if they get to the 3rd one, you can work that out later. You want to discard the Yakuman chance as quickly as possible, in my opinion, because that is the only way you're going to get anywhere with your hand. Now, to be fair, if your hand is completely trash and still miles from everywhere, then fine, don't play the dragon. But if you've got a hand that's anywhere near close to just outracing them, play it immediately after the 2 calls. Because the majority of the time, they won't have it. This is true. Kyro's not wrong. But I'm just on the philosophy that if I'm in a position where I can outrace them, I'm probably going to try and do that. Because them finishing it is probably death for me anyway, whether I deal into the Yakuman or whether I just take the hit from them getting it. It is. Unfortunately. If you give away a 3rd, it also works for the little big wins as well, I think, as well. But if you give them the completed Yakuman called set, then you are responsible for their win if that happens. But I am a definite one for just if that happens, go for it straight away. Because I from my perspective here, if the other player gets a Yakuman, I'm probably not winning the game anyway. So yeah. So far, it's always worked, but you know. Anyway, Jesper's got an interesting hand here, but Demo is already tempo waiting on the 6. And gets the ROM. So Demo's lead expands. Rise still needs some help. Alright, Prospero. 2 dragons. Probably Honitsu attack here, depending on how... He's a long way back, but he's only a Mungan away from taking second. So I'd probably be looking to just attack this and take the Honitsu dragons. Especially since you've now drawn another useful tile. See where he wants to go for it or not. Keeping his options open. Still got the 3-4, I guess. He could still go Dragon and just have a repeat. So even here, he can cut the East and still keep his options open. And now he's got 2. He's got the real option here. Goes for that one. So he's going for just Dragon, and a repeat. But he does not have the 3rd one, so the whites are completely safe. And this is where, against a dealer with this much power, I would play the white and risk it. I would play the white immediately if I had it. In Jesper's position, he's got a multi-Dora hand, and it's not the slowest thing in the world. Demo's is even faster. But the longer you hold off, the more chance you get of giving them to actually have it. So I prefer to know straight away, even if it's the worst thing in the world for me if they do. Yep. Well, this gives him Tempai waiting on the 2-5, which he takes. But that's only going to put him to 20,000. Because ultimately, Prospero is going to benefit because both Jesper and Demo are both folding this white dragon out. Which means Prospero's got all the time in the world to try and get the last 2 and 5 pin. But again, this would be the same case even if he was going for the Manzu, but... Well, I think, as I say, I'd argue Demo's hand is faster than Jesper's, or at least was at the time this was relevant. So I think he could have been outraced. Especially since he, I don't know. In normal circumstances, you go for the Honitsu. I suppose he's got a bit more speed out of that, but he hasn't really gained a lot of benefit for a really good starting hand. Well, let's see how this goes. I mean, the dealer taking the Yakuman still ends your game, so... But yeah. But yeah, I'd have definitely attacked that from either position in that place, just because I'd want to try and outrace him. He's going for something slow and awkward, and it does look as if he was going for a Honitsu. Well, actually, he doesn't from the discards, but you know. If it is a 2 Dragon Call, he's probably going for a Honitsu, which will slow his hand down. If he's going for the full thing, yeah. I just think a dealer Yakuman, even if it's in potential is worth just risking and attacking anything, because the game is going to be over for you regardless. But I've said my case on it. It might not necessarily be the correct case. It's just what I would do in that position. And sooner or later, it will get me into trouble. And then I will never do it again. But so far, playing that third dragon has not let me down. They have never had it. Well, from Demo's perspective, I guess. But, you know. Alright, Rise has free door in his hand. Let's see if he can finally finish this thing off. So, multiple pairs, a few options. Can't go for Tanya, unfortunately, but could go Toy Dora, Multi-Dora. Probably. He's kind of managed to muddle through that, but still. That's the backfire. So what can anyone do with that 5? Nothing right at this moment. Alright, Demo is quite close to getting his Honitsu finished. And Prospero does hit it for 147. You've taken a no-win reach. Eight's the indicator. There's no winning tiles left. That has to be a misclick. There's no way he'd have taken that weight. You had a 147 pin fee weight. You just decide if there was an 8 still in the wall, maybe, but even then, it's not the greatest thing in the world. I'm not sure what you're avoiding either. An 8 was safe. 8 was played last turn by Jesper. Yeah, I'm assuming it's a misclick, but yeah. So a no-win reach from Prospero then, and I mean, it might get the job done this late, in all honesty, but because Demo has folded. Rise has got to tempo with that, so he at least has a chance. I think. I'm just trying to work out where the things are left. Oh, it's just called for tempo. You can't actually win with it unless it's a high toe, which it was not 4-player tempo. That was a bizarre game. Well, we'll stick with Prospero then. Yeah, Prospero's hand not great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Can't even really go with that, and he's kind of been off earlier anyway, so yeah. Well, Prospero's got a rough hand ahead of him. Jesper's hand is nearly done, and could be a Sun Anko as well. Well, not anymore, but, you know, he's now hit tempo with that. Although, what's his weight? So no, a misclick from Jesper here, because I don't see how he wins at the moment until he gets another 6-pin. Or he pairs up the 3-4 and goes for Toy Toy. Could be Sananko Toy Toy, which at least, you know, isn't the worst. Gives him Hanneman. Khan. That would have been a good Rinshan. There, however, is Demo's Reach, waiting on the 5-8 pin. Oh boy. Sometimes the problem with Toy Toy style hands, they kind of restrict what you can do, and he had committed. Oh, Mangan for Demo. So Prospero emerges from his dealer turn in 2nd place. As we move to Jesper's dealer turn. So, from his perspective, 3-5 to 2nd, 39 to the lead. Demo can just win 2 short hands and get himself out of trouble and has a pair of Souths, so we'll see what he wants to do. But Demo could probably sit back and just watch for the time being. Go away, make a cup of tea, go to auto discard, and probably still come out with a win here. Don't recommend him doing that, so he probably isn't, but you know. Prospero's initial hands is quite good. We'll see how things go. Rise needs a minor miracle to get back into the game, unfortunately, and there is the South for Demo. Yeah, I noticed they weren't. Yeah, there were some strange ones in this one, I've got to be honest. Okay, 5-7 opening that up. He needs to get rid of some pairs anyway. There seems to be some hinting going on, which I'm going to ignore. So, Ishan turn for Demo. All right, no worries, Jesper. Thanks for joining us. I'll catch you next week or at some point in the stream chat, Discord chat, whatever. Okay, so that is Tenpai for Demo, waiting on the 1-4, with most of them actually on the table. There's a single one. I mean, it could come out of Prospero, in fairness, but ignoring that, there's one left in the wall. Yeah, sometimes you do need some value. And that's the deal in. So double South 1 for 39, which puts Jesper into 2nd place. So tight final battle. What is Demo going to do with this? What does Demo have to do with this? He honestly doesn't. He's got no fear. 40,000 lead against everybody. So San Baiman deal-ins are pretty much the only thing he cares about from that perspective. So let's see how the minor battle goes. Prospero's hand looks ridiculously fast compared to the other two, so I'm assuming he's going to take it. Yeah, it's always one where you're slightly down on points. You have to take more risks, unfortunately. It's just the way it goes. Here's a possibility one, which at least has got to be good. But as mentioned, Prospero's hand looked ridiculously fast, and still does, kind of. Okay, so still culling things. Could still get that dragon, which would help him out. Prospero has to get rid of a south, which would accelerate Jesper a little bit. So it's looking likely, but we'll see. They need to get to 20,000 to not have a negative score in second. Oh, there's Jesper's south, so that accelerates him a little bit. Fortunately, the rest of his hand isn't that great at the moment, so... Yep, and there's Demo with the 5-8 just to definitely secure his win. 8 looks like it might come out of Jesper at some point in the future. We'll see how this goes. Dora won, just because Dora won. Also possible Sanchiku now. Just because Demo needed the extra value. Oh. Unfortunate. Simples, Sanchiku, Andorra, 58. Prospero takes second, Rise third, Jesper fourth. Yeah, -9 because you actually need 25 to go second and be fine. Cyberbullying is going on in this stream. I have nothing to do with cyberbullying. I just let them play their games. That is all I have ever done. All right. Well, thanks for joining us. That was Styles Confusion for this week. We will be back next week for more tile style stuff and things. And hopefully we will try and get that analysis of probably Piffle's game, but I might go and check through some of the others as well, see if there's anything interesting thematically that I want to raise. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. I will catch you all another time then. Until then.